Katt Williams just revealed that Ellen DeGeneres lied about her wife Portia de Rossi being sick so she could get out of the country. Back in 2024, right after the Department of Justice announced that the Epstein files were going to be released, Ellen pulled this stunt to escape an investigation. Ellen DeGeneres tells people that the actress is now home and doing well. A source says that Ellen rushed Portia to the hospital on Friday night and that she was in a lot of pain. Ellen and her wife Portia de Rossi used all the confusion to escape to the UK before an investigation could be conducted into Ellen's involvement. Emails between Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell prove that at least 25 high-ranking celebrities were involved with Epstein, and there is speculation that one of these celebrities was Ellen. Ellen allegedly promoted Epstein's beliefs on her show and tried to normalize the use of human stem cells for staying young. She knew that her role was going to be exposed, and according to reports close to the situation, that's why she ran away. Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, have reportedly the U.S. bound for the U.K. after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States. Telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most. Really bad. If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be? Does one of us have to come out alive? They're losing their minds. She sounded so sincere too, didn't she? Very sincere. Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Oh, could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But, she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she? Well, this is why I say, release the Diddy files. Yes. So, come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name. So, maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that. Just throwing that out there as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites. Just a few months after Ellen left for the UK, the first batch of the Epstein files was released, and they revealed something no one could have predicted. Reports indicated that Ellen was mentioned more than 1,100 times in the Epstein files and had been using her connection in Hollywood to connect Epstein with young actors. Epstein would be introduced as a talent scout to these children, and they would be asked to model for him. The worst part is that all of it was being flaunted in our faces all along. That the Epstein files reveal Ellen DeGeneres as, and I'm quoting this directly from the posts, Hollywood's most prolific cannibal, that she consumed flesh, is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals that show up across the investigative materials, flight logs, communications, third-party interviews, peripheral records. Who will eat pizza if I Jennifer? Yes. Harrison? Yes. Yes. Mark. All right. Too large, what do you think? I'm going to order some pizza. That's what I'll do. Some investigators have even pointed towards video taken from Ellen during the 1998 VH1 Fashion Awards show that shows Ellen talking about how she would target children that were isolated from these families. Ellen has claimed that everything she said was a joke, but now, knowing that celebrities were working with Epstein to trick underage individuals, her lies are slowly starting to be exposed. I start looking at about age 6, sometimes earlier. Because of my trained eye, I can see potential. Take that girl, for instance. You may think not a chance. I see her differently. Loner type, others hate her. Weird eating habits, looks extremely moody. Basically all the outer signs of a future supermodel. Now, it's my job to nurture those qualities and maybe we have a winner on our hands. How are you doing in school? You liking it? I hate it. Good. How about grades? Who cares? Exactly. Nobody. What about the other kids? Do they think you're weird? Yeah, they think I'm a witch with evil powers. Good. That's real good. Keep something in mind. Being different doesn't mean you're a witch. It only means you may become one of the highest paid models in the world, okay? Yeah, whatever. I don't care about anything. Katt Williams knew that celebrities in Hollywood were working with Epstein all along. He even named some of Epstein's accomplices and said that these people would source young talent for people like Epstein. Katt Williams talked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast and said that the same producers and elites who control the industry are using their roles to source young men and women for trafficking to other elites. He even named Diddy and Epstein as the two heads. Keep in mind that Ellen invited Diddy to her show over 17 different times. Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys, knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to have to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history, right? If I was going to run some global power organization, I would try to co-opt every single leader, try to suck them in, offer support, bring them out to where I have my big-ass meetings, fly everybody in private jets, talk about the climate crisis. All organizations have to follow the same rules. Yeah, that's wild. Recruitment is an important facet of all. Like, we have to get some young global leaders. Well, understand, this is the only reason that we can talk about these big Illuminati-like entities at this period of time. It's just because of time, like they aged out, like you can't, right? Get in new. So everybody got decrepit over there, and they can't exchange really. Emails from the Epstein files, along with court documents from the prosecutors in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, show that Epstein allegedly made deals with 25 different celebrities to bring them over to his side. Some critics of Ellen claim she was one of these celebrities, and the fact that she shut down her show and vanished from the spotlight just as Maxwell's deposition began, that's just supposed to be another coincidence? Filed court document. Ghislaine Maxwell, you know. The former associate of Jeffrey Epstein, she was convicted of trafficking minors, sentenced to 20 years in prison. She claims that 25 men, maybe friends associates of the deceased financier, have been protected under secret settlement, secret deals, and that this information was not revealed to her during her trial. This is on top of what she claims are 4 other individuals, alleged co-conspirators, who were never charged. Obviously, I have thoughts. Is she telling the truth, particularly given her past, in light of what she's trying to do now? If this is true, then number 1, wow, and who are these people? What is a secret settlement? Can we ever find out? Can the public ever find out? The coincidences don't just end here. Even the kind of content that Ellen was airing lines up exactly with what Epstein was trying to normalize. For example, emails from the Epstein files show that elites were allegedly harvesting stem cells from human babies and children, too. Reports by trusted sources like Chris Hansen, who has been working to expose predators for over a decade, line up with what we've seen in the Epstein files. Epstein even had a research facility on his island, where he would invest in stem cells taken from his own children. Allegedly, women would be impregnated, and stem cells would be taken from the fetuses. Oh yeah, freakazoid, yeah. And part of his deal, he's in prison in jail up in Canada waiting, charges all over the globe. But his deal was that he would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the fountain of youth. And we get into this in that documentary. And was Epstein involved in that sort of activity? I don't know. That's where, and again, we just have to look at what we have and know what we don't yet. Yeah, but it's a question. Yeah, and you look at the context of the jerky stuff. Yeah, no, when you look at what other billionaire guys have done, were they in contact somehow? Obviously, there are some people who are in the concentric circles of associates. Now, watch what Ellen was airing during the same time. In one episode with Sandra Bullock, Ellen and Sandra Bullock openly discussed her use of adrenochromes extracted from children and laughed about how it kept them young. Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. that how many did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do this? Everybody. Okay. And good smart ones. Just those that I thought would appreciate it. Okay, explain what it is. Well, it's this way in which one forces through micro needling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I mean, I think many of you know it. And you pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boost it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the sound. What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah? Sarah. Sarah? Sarah. Carrie. What are you pushing into the skin? Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores. But what is it? It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract. It's foreskin from a Korean baby. Let me guess. It's just another unfortunate coincidence. Trust me, there are a lot more. But before we move on, here's what Katt Williams had to say about these random coincidences we keep seeing in Hollywood. According to him, everything that happens in Hollywood happens for a reason. This is an industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're not making random mistakes. None of this is a mistake or an accident. Hyper ratings, we need an attention to be on this thing. See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get kicked, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million, and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts, now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over and the money goes up and up and up. So they kick this $20 million guy, but they reach $60 million in benefits. Wow. And they had some people from your city do it? Wow. I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses, but think about what you just think about what you just said. That's extremely thoughtful and powerful. Moving on to some more unfortunate coincidences. There's also the fact that around the same time as when Ellen shut down her show to step away from the spotlight amid allegations of abuse, people from her staff and even some of the closest friends started to either die in mysterious ways or disappear out of the public eye. The Ellen Show ended in May of 2022. By the end of the same year, Stephen T. Witchboss, Ellen co-producer and alleged best friend of 8 years, and Anne Heche, her ex-girlfriend, had both died under extremely mysterious circumstances. We're learning more tonight about the tragic side of Stephen Twitchboss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in Uber, or checked in, rather, under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left a suicide note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like. I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times. Because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life. In May 2002, the Ellen DeGeneres show was canceled. And then 2 months later, Anne Heche, Ellen's ex-girlfriend, was in a really bad car accident where she flew her Mini Cooper into someone's house and it caught fire. And what has never sat right with me is the actual aerial footage. The coroner's report says that she was unconscious until her death after just from smoke inhalation and from being brain dead from the fumes in her brain. But if you look at the footage, she sits straight up, and that takes a conscious effort, I feel. But I'm not a scientist. I mean, I'm not a doctor. But the other thing is her other host, her co-host, Twitch, died 4 months after that. And I just think that that's a suspicious amount of like close people around you dying in weird ways. But I don't know. Anyways, this is my driver. And I went to the Ellen Show once and she gave me Magic Mike Live tickets. Anyways, One executive producer from Ellen's show even gave an anonymous interview where they exposed all of Ellen's lies and claimed that the allegations surrounding her consumption of flesh were true. Now I hear she's got Kuru, starting to go blind and could be the syphilis too, though. Either way, that cannibal game finally catching up to her. Karma's of this crazy-ass woman was out here beating peoples and not telling nobody where it came from. I'm a picky eater, bro. Whole foods, organic, all that. I don't do any sprays, no chemicals, none of that. I need to know exactly what I'm putting in my body and where it came from. So, when I finally found out what was really in them, dumplings, shock of my goddamn life. Well, by the end of that night, I found out everybody knows. I'm telling you, this is open secret, bro. But people are scared of her. No, terrified. Straight up terrified. She told me her daddy was a serial killer, never got caught, dozens of bodies. Said she got the same eyes as him, something wrong with them. You can't quite put your finger on it, like a predator staring at you right before it strikes. In the wild, she's proud of that one tweet about the situation, even said Ellen DeGeneres has been diagnosed with Kuru. The terrible prion disease linked to doctors claim that she is losing her sight. Kuru, known as the laughing sickness, slowly destroys the brain and is transmitted through ritual them. Ellen's world imploded in January when the DOJ dropped the Epstein files and exposed the former queen of daytime TV as Hollywood's most prolific with an appetite for means. Then came the death sentence. Medical experts confirm she's dying of late-stage Kuru, the brain-eating disease that's already begun stealing her sight. But the real bombshell, former staff on the Ellen DeGeneres show are finally talking. They're tearing up their NDAs and revealing the real reason Ellen has always been so secretive about her past is because it's all a lie. Supporters of these theories also point towards hidden symbolism in Ellen's show, which some people see as an attempt to normalize what was happening on Epstein's island. There's also been a lot of talk about the crown and skeleton symbols from Jean-Michel Basquiat's art, which both Jay-Z and Ellen have been seen wearing lately. Some investigators think these symbols are a nod to the elite's occult connections. Others have also claimed that back when the Department of Justice first released images of Epstein's island, a temple on the island matched exactly with what Ellen had on her show. Symbolism will be their downfall, or is it just art? And let me be the first to tell you, it's all connected. I mean, if you know, you know. But first, let's go back to that video of Ellen DeGeneres. When the camera turns, you can see the inside of her house. Now, see that picture right there? Well, if you pause it and look it up, it says evil thoughts with revenge right next to it. Here's another picture of Ellen in her house, and this is the picture behind. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the letters on top of the picture. These look oddly similar to the letters Marina Abramovich writes out when she does spirit cooking. Remember the beginning of the video? It's all connected. And that person that was in all red is Lady Gaga, and she went to Marina Abramovich many times for teaching. But let's continue. This is another picture of Ellen in her home. She's cutting her mother's hair. But what is that picture above her head? Look at it. Oh well, you know where that is too, right? There's similar image to that, right? No, I know Jamie does. What is it? It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore. Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen? Yeah? Really? Just look at the temple, and then look at the let me see Ellen's background. What? The worst part is that we're slowly starting to see what some of Epstein's victims actually went through. One account of a victim that was handed over to Epstein by his celebrity accomplices was found in a diary belonging to one of Epstein's victims. The diary detailed how Epstein and Ghislaine met a 14-year-old victim and her family at a camp funded by celebrities. Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell preyed upon this girl by providing her with scholarships, mentoring her, buying her stuff, and even helping her start her modeling career. Epstein and Ghislaine were masters at coercion, and they knew just the right kind of girls to find who would be susceptible to the lies. The worst part? This diary proves that parents knew what their kids were getting into. As for which celebrity was responsible for this victim, well, we'll leave that one up to you. First met J.E. and G.M. sitting at a picnic table with friends. G.M. walked by with a dog. J.E. came up to meet her. Do you like teachers, classes, etc.? I give scholarships. 6 weeks later, someone called from the office asking, come by for tea. Can send driver. Had tea with mom by the pool. Likes to mentor, give scholarships. Brother's poor, didn't have a lot of money. J.E. said he could help. Mom called him our godfather. Perfect grooming. GM always there, didn't know what relationship was. Kind of became big sis. Oh, pick you up. We'll go to movies. J.E. loved massages. Other woman would provide. Woman would remove top. I'd have to rub feet, and he have me witness actual contact. Same. Similar people. Women. Girls. Had professional massage therapists, other girls around. Looked like models. Like 100 times he had me in the room when massaged. LA stay. A lot of girls around. One girl freaked out and cried. I gave her a hug. She said, I don't want to do this. I have a boyfriend. Me and another girl said, don't worry about it. Leave. So or stay out here. J.E. made me stand in my underwear, took pics to show me I looked fat. These victims would grow up being group always stay under the control of their masters. In a recent interview with Theo Von, Katt said that he was shocked to see just how many victims were under the control of Harvey Weinstein. Allegedly, Weinstein offered Katt the opportunity to be with any actress he wanted. These actresses were available to Harvey Weinstein on speed dial, and the only thing Katt had to do in return was stay silent and help them recruit more young men and women. These actresses had been since they first stepped into the industry. Were there things that you didn't take in your career that you feel like were are there things to look out for? Do you feel like there wasn't for me because I knew I wasn't going to take it, but I did want to get offered. You know what I mean? And most of this stuff I wouldn't have believed until I had to get to a certain level to get to see the proof. You know what I mean? So, I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him and how he could not be told no, that he get whatever he want. You follow what I'm saying? That they'll figure out some way, right? So, I thought that didn't apply to me because I don't care about nothing, and good business, right? And then he offered me 2 actresses like they was playing cards, and I was like, what? Like he just dealt you a hand like that. He was like, I know you? Damn. Right? Like, what? Some aces? Damn. No, my personal aces? Yeah. Did you think about it? Look, I'm not in these scary situations. I don't even leave it up to me. Like, I'm gonna do what the superhero would do in this part of the movie, regardless, and deal with what happens after. Yeah. Some investigators claim that given the extent of Epstein's power, not even prison wardens would be able to handle his alleged accomplices like Ellen. Just look at how much luxury Ellen is living in. Ghislaine was originally transferred to a federal prison in Florida, where she was expected to spend the rest of her sentence. However, while in this prison, Maxwell was visited by the Deputy Attorney General and the current Acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Just days after this meeting, Maxwell was suddenly transferred to a minimum security federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas. The Texas facility is a women's prison camp with dormitory housing, limited or no perimeter fencing, and a lower staff-to-inmate ratio than her previous prison. Ghislaine Maxwell, in her own words, describing life in her new prison home. I feel like I have dropped through Alice in Wonderland's looking glass, she writes of federal prison camp Bryan, according to emails she sent to friends and family reviewed by NBC News. I am much, much happier here, she writes. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for recruiting to be abused by Jeffrey Epstein. The emails obtained by the House Judiciary Committee investigating allegations of special treatment written by Maxwell after an abrupt and unusual transfer from a low-security facility in Florida to this all-women's camp in Texas, typically reserved for white-collar criminals. The move came amid backlash over the DOJ and FBI announcement in July that a review found no incriminating client list. Soon after, Maxwell met with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Did you know of the existence of any such list? There is no list. Days later, she was transferred and writing emails gushing over her improved conditions. The food is legions better. The place is clean. The staff responsive and polite, she wrote. Saying in another, you were not allowed to steal, beat people up, and attack them with homemade weapons. The Justice Department, which oversees federal prisons, declined to comment. Maxwell's attorney saying in a statement, "It's time to get over the fact that she's in a safer facility. We should want that for everyone." The family of abuse survivor Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who later died by had saying, "We strongly reject the notion that a convicted child trafficker should reside in a residential neighborhood shielded by fences instead of bars." In her new camp, Ghislaine Maxwell has some unbelievable perks, like having her own puppy and getting to use the internet whenever she wants. One of the other inmates actually said that her life there is nothing like anyone else's. She's clearly being treated differently. Apparently, she hasn't shown any remorse at all. Even when her victims were on TV pouring their hearts out to Congress and calling for the files to be released, she reportedly acted like she couldn't care less. Couple more and we're almost out of time. I do want to ask you about Ghislaine Maxwell, who was of course convicted in 2021 for her role in helping Jeffrey Epstein traffic his victims. In July, you interviewed her in Florida, where she was serving a 20-year sentence in federal prison. Just a week later, Maxwell was moved to a more permissive prison camp in Texas. Why was she moved just days after you interviewed her, Mr. Blanche? So that's a Bureau of Prisons security issue that I will not talk about. Did you have anything to do with it? Did you have anything to do with it? Let me finish. First of all, I am responsible for the Bureau of Prisons. So every decision that they make lands on my desk to the extent it needs to. But just let me talk about the security issue. At the time that I met Ms. Maxwell, there was a tremendous amount of scrutiny and publicity towards her. And the institution she was in, she was suffering numerous threats against her life. So the BOP is not only responsible for putting people in jail and making sure they stay in jail, but also for their safety. And so she was moved. She's in federal prison. She was in federal prison before. She's in federal prison now. She's doing 20 years because she was convicted. And the fact that she was moved, she might be moved to another institution tomorrow if security requires it. And that's true of any federal inmate across this country. What do you think? Are these just coincidences? Or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes that the public still doesn't fully understand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stick around for the next investigation because things in Hollywood only get stranger from here.